Hello, and welcome to another in the series called Let's Ask. Let's Ask is a place where you can ask any questions that's on your mind and be sure to receive an answer directly from the Bible. Today we have Rob from the Seed of God International. Rob, you're in the hot seat, and this is a hot topic for this time and has been for quite some time. Will the dead live again?
Thank you, Faye, for the question. And let's go ahead and turn to our Bibles and see what the Bible has to say about this. Let's start in John chapter 5. John chapter 5, Jesus speaking, says, "Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice and shall come forth. They that have done good unto the resurrection of life, they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation." Jesus right here tells us that everybody in their grave, righteous, unrighteous, saved, unsaved, they're all going to end up coming forth within a resurrection. There's two different resurrections, the resurrection of life and the resurrection of damnation. And everybody will come up in one of the two of those. Now, for this particular study, we're going to actually look at the resurrection of life, what this is about. And so let's turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, starting in verse 51. The Apostle Paul writes, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, and this mortal shall put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory." So here too, the Apostle Paul, he tells us that the dead shall be raised. But he doesn't just say, in talking about the dead, he says we shall not all sleep, meaning the word sleep here means dead. And Jesus helps clarify that for us. For those that might be thinking something else is being talked about here, I want to show you that Jesus himself equates death with being asleep. In John chapter 11, talking about his friend Lazarus, man that all the other disciples knew, Jesus in chapter 11, starting in verse 11, says, "These things said he, and after that he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleeps, he'll do well. Howbeit Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. Then Jesus said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead." What Jesus is telling us here is that when we die, it's like being asleep. We don't know what's going on around us. We have no part in it anymore. We are there in our grave, and he's going to wake us out of the sleep. That's why the Apostle Paul in First Corinthians there said, "We shall not all sleep." In other words, we're not all necessarily going to die, but all those who are saved will be changed. And so here, if we do die, though, we are told very plainly that we will be resurrected. And if we're among the righteous, we will be resurrected in this resurrection of life. Jesus talking to Martha again about her brother, Lazarus was her brother, actually tells us when this is going to take place. John chapter 11, verse 23, Jesus said unto her, Your brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. So Jesus gives us this great promise that yes, those who are dead are going to be resurrected. And Martha told us it's in the last day. Is that what Jesus says also? Well, let's look. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13. And again, this is Paul writing, but he says, I would not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, or those which are dead, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. If we believe that Jesus died and rose again, do we believe that? I certainly do. Even so, them which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent or go before those which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So we see here that yes, when Jesus returns, he is going to raise the dead. Those that have fallen asleep in him, those that are currently resting in him, he's going to raise them up. And in John chapter 6, verses 43 and 44, Jesus says clearly when this is, Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. So he's telling us not only are the dead going to be raised, he tells us when this is going to take place. When Jesus returns, when he returns to gather together all his elect, he does it at the same time. And this is in the last day of this world's history, when the righteous will be gathered together with him to be taken to the home he is preparing for us in heaven. And so, yes, the dead in Christ shall rise. And oh, what a glorious day that will be. And I pray that we will all be among that number.
Thank you so much, Rob. Viewers, do you have a question that's on your mind that you would like to be answered on a future Let's Ask? Please go to www.exposingtruthministry.com and put your questions there. Also, would you like an in-depth Bible study on any subject, something that we may have presented, or something else that's on your mind? Please put your request there as well. We also have group studies available. Let us know. Please check our website for information how to join in one of our group study session. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when another in the series of Let's Ask is available. Thank you, Rob. God bless.